So one of the big questions that comes forward in the whole field of social emotional learning is, can you assess it? Can you measure it? That has been a really crucial question for the field, particularly in light of how we bring SEL into education, because there's a saying that goes, what's not assessed is not addressed. And so could SEL actually be more of a passing fad if in fact we don't have any way to identify where are our kids now? How do we know that we're doing this and it's making a difference in children? So the actual assessment of individual level assessments for student social emotional skills, it's in its infancy. They're just being developed right now because it's trying to figure out what is a meaningful change over time, what's a high or medium or low skill for that particular student. But one thing that we're doing here in British Columbia and actually across Canada is using a measure of social emotional competence and well-being as well as assets called the Middle Years Development Instrument, or MDI. And it's a tool that was developed here at the Human Early Learning Partnership at UBC in collaboration with myself and a number of other researchers. And what we wanted to do is to find a way to assess students' social and emotional skills, but at the classroom and school-wide level and at the district level. It's a self-report, so children are the ones who report it, 4th grade and 7th grade. It looks at social and emotional development, which includes all 5 dimensions of, at least on the grade 7, for social and emotional learning, self-awareness, social awareness, as well as relationship skills and self-management, as well as responsible decision-making. But it also looks at assets. So it looks at things like children's lives inside and outside school. It looks at positive adult relationships, positive peer relationships, school experiences, after school time, and nutrition and sleep. So there's one question on the MDI where we ask children to say, how many adults at your school are important to you? And children put the initials. And what we've done then is look at the percentage of kids who say 2 or more, those children who say just 1, and those children who say no one. And so first of all, we've looked at what is the relationship between well-being or social and emotional learning and the number of adults. And we found the consistent pattern throughout. Those children who report having 2 or more adults who are important to them are higher on every single dimension of social and emotional competence. They're higher in empathy, they're higher in pro-social behavior, they're higher in happiness and self-esteem. But what we found is schools, when they see their data and say, oh my goodness, 50% of our kids say no one, it then gives them a target for intervention. Because the social emotional skills you might not know how to shift necessarily, but if you know, like, we're going to make a concerted effort to have more important adults at our school, and then you could see a change from year to year to see have we shifted by focusing on that. Social emotional skills are critical, but we have to look at what are the contextual factors that support those. And that's really what we have control over. Those are the things we have action. We can create a more safe and supportive classroom environment. We can create more positive adult relationships with children. We can create opportunities for them to feel more connected to their neighborhood, for them to be involved in after school time, them to have good nutrition and good sleep. And again, by focusing on those things, we know we could promote this and SEL programs. So you could actually look, if we're doing these SEL programs, are they having a difference? You can look at it in that regard as well. I call it a way for students to be our teachers. If we're going to help build a better world for them, we need to learn from them what are the things that help what they will need.